Video 2, Case and Case Classification. If you look at page 4 of the handout, linked in the video description on YouTube, you'll find a diagram that explains cases, case classifications, and their relationships to data in NVivo. I've extracted that diagram here to help us visualize these concepts. In NVivo, a case is the person, place, organization, event, or any other entity you want to analyze. Think about this. What exactly are you comparing? People? Organizations? Publishers? You decide this early, but remember, you don't always need cases. For example, if you're analyzing 10 years of newspaper articles on climate change, and you don't care about the author, where in the world they were published, or source, you can skip cases and still analyze the content. If you start coding without cases, that's okay. NVivo lets you add cases later. But here, we'll set everything up from the start so you can follow the full process. In our example, we have 5 people as cases, like Sam and Quinn. We'll gather data from them from multiple sources: Google reviews, a focus group, and a survey. These different sources provide various kinds of data on our cases. A case can include information from many sources. NVivo uses a suitcase icon to represent cases. That's a great metaphor. Imagine putting everything about a person or organization into a suitcase to keep their data organized across files. After setting up cases, the next step is creating a case classification, a label that describes which type of entity each case is. Since we're comparing people, our classification will be called person. Each classification can have attributes, characteristics you want to track. For this video series, we'll use 2 attributes for person: gender, and whether they received a reply. You might track other attributes in your project, like year of study or residency status. Let's switch back to NVivo and start creating our cases. We begin by converting files into cases. Think of this as making an empty suitcase for each person, so anything they say in a Google review, survey, or focus group goes into the same case. First, click the Google Reviews folder in the navigation view on the left. The files will appear in the central workspace. Select all files by clicking the first file, holding Shift, and clicking the last file. With all the files selected, right-click on any file, hover over Create As about 2/3 down the menu. A submenu appears. Select Create As Cases. A window pops up asking where to store the cases. Choose the default, the top-level Cases folder, which is visible in the navigation view on the left. At the bottom of the window is a drop-down menu to assign a classification. According to the diagram on page 4, this would be the names of people, but since we haven't created classifications yet, we'll skip this step and click OK. Now click Cases in the navigation view on the left. Then click the Cases option below it. You'll see each person listed in the main workspace. While it is possible to import a classification sheet, we will create our classification sheet manually. Click Create in the top ribbon toolbar, then select Case Classification from the list of tools below. A pop-up will ask for a classification name. At the bottom, you'll see some predefined classifications with preset attributes. You can explore those, but here, type person and click OK. Go to Case Classifications in the navigation view. You'll see person listed in the main workspace. Next, add attributes like gender and reply to describe each case. Within the Case Classification workspace, right-click on Person and select New Attribute. A dialog box opens to create your first attribute, gender. At the top left, you'll see General and Values tabs. On a Mac, all options appear on one page. Let's start with the General tab. In the name field, type gender. Below, you'll see an optional description and a drop-down labeled type. By default, it's set to text, which is fine. NVivo offers other types like numbers, dates, or Boolean if you need them. Next, click the Values tab. You'll see existing values like unassigned and not applicable. Add new values by clicking Add. On Mac, it's a plus sign. Name the first value female. Repeat to add male and non-binary. By default, new cases start as unassigned until you pick a value. You can set a default if one is more common. For example, if most people don't get replies, you might default that attribute to no. For gender, we'll leave the default as unassigned. Click OK to save. Now in the Case Classifications workspace, you'll see Person has one attribute, gender. Let's add another by right-clicking Person and choosing New Attribute. Name this attribute Reply, and set its type to Boolean. Boolean means yes or no. In our data, Quinn received a reply, others did not. On the Values tab, you'll see yes and no already listed. Since most didn't get replies, set the default to no and click OK. With cases and attributes set up, the last step is assigning values to each case. We'll enter gender and reply status for each person. First, make sure case classification is selected in the navigation view. In the main workspace, right-click Person and select Open Classification Sheet. On a Mac, this works a little differently. See the handout linked in the video description on YouTube. The workspace will split, showing the classification sheet on the Person tab. With the sheet open, we need to assign each case to the Person classification. This will fill the Person tab, which is initially empty. In the navigation view, click Cases to display all cases. Select all by clicking the first case, holding Shift, then clicking the last case. Right-click any selected case, hover over Classification, and select Person. The classification sheet now shows a table. Each row is a case, with columns for gender and reply. Each cell has a drop-down menu to choose a value. Let's fill these in using the information on page 8 of the handout. Quinn is male and received a reply, so yes. Mohammed is male. Olivia is female. Sam is non-binary. Shahira is female. And everyone else did not receive a reply, so we'll leave those values set as no. So just to review what we've done, we imported our files, created cases, set up a case classification with attributes for gender and reply, and assigned those attributes to each case. With all this set up on the back end, we're now ready to move forward and start coding. When you're ready, go ahead and continue to the next video.